Okay, I have another question.
Oh, yes. I was looking forward to it. By the way, didn't we talk about your beard and your hairs?
It cannot everyone look like a hipster.
So anyway, what's your question?
I thought I wanted to try your technique. I don't like it, but you told me to try it, so I tried it. And now I have a problem because I have a memory palace with 20 locations and I used it to memorize my shopping list on Monday, on Tuesday, on Wednesday and Thursday and on Friday. But the problem was that on Friday I bought all the stuff I wanted to buy on Monday. Now I have so much stuff in my refrigerator, then it's already getting bad. What shall I do now? My memory palace is totally crowded with food, pizza, with eggs, with everything. And I can't use it anymore. This technique is completely nonsense. I don't want to use it again. The memory palace doesn't work for me.
But to be honest, I mean, it's not my fault that you bought all the stuff at the same time. I think it's your fault.
No, I don't think so.
Anyway, okay, but back to your question. Your question is very good because I see a lot of people having this trouble. They have a memory palace, maybe with 20 locations, and then they use these 20 locations. And after that, they can't use it anymore because it's already occupied. But in this video, I want to give you 5 tips how to overcome that and how to find new places for your memory palaces. Tip number 1, don't get stuck with your first palace. You build your first journey with 20 locations, use it once, then you're going to use it another time, and so on. And at some point you feel, okay, 20 locations is not enough. You are afraid of going for new locations because you are already used to your old ones. You want to use them again. And that's what even memory athletes face a lot. By myself, I have this problem even after 20 years. I sometimes really struggle in doing and creating more locations because I'm used to my lovely locations. I like them so much, I'm comfortable with them. I know that they work and that's the point. But the problem, of course, is if you don't have new locations, you cannot get them to work. You will never feel comfortable about it. So you have to make this leap of faith and go and get new locations. It worked in the first place for your first 20 locations. Why it shouldn't work for other locations as well. So build up a nice pool of locations first. Let's say instead of 20, go with 200. That sounds a lot, but it's not. Actually, you already know 200 locations. You only need to number them. What I mean by that comes with tip number 2. So number 2, you already know them. Think of everywhere where you go during the week or on holidays. You might go outside to the park, you might go to the shopping mall, you might visit friends. These are all places you can use for your memory palaces. Or you have been to a nice holiday, use the hotel bar, use the pool area, everything you have there. And the cool thing about it, you can always go back to your vacation because you created a memory palace in this hotel and you use it all the time. That's a great thing to do and it helps you to build up more locations. So write down a list with all places you can think of. It can be also places from your past like childhood's house, like your university, your school, your work, your office, everything. They will help you a lot and then it's easy to get 200 locations because you already know them. So tip number 3, use virtual memory palaces. I created a couple of videos about that already. You can go with some kind of house tours, 3D house tours, which you'll find plenty of them in the internet. Or you use some computer games. You're a gamer, use it. I mean, there are so many nice open worlds out there in the gaming industry. You can all use them. Not all games might suit your needs, but test it a bit. And these virtual palaces are everywhere. Use Google Street View, for example, like I did in this video around the Eiffel Tower. Use the White House. I used that once with a client to memorize all the presidents of the United States. It was a lot of fun. I'm not sure if the NSA is after me right now because I was in the White House for about 2 days online. Go ahead and try virtual palaces. Tip number 4, memorize different information on the same journey if you want to use it again. So that means if you have used your journey like our friend here then you can use the journey where you memorized food already, of course, for different stuff. You could use the same journey for memorizing a list of names like presidents or historical figures or painters or whatever it is. Because I'm pretty sure you will know if this was a painter or something you want to eat. You can reuse your journeys when you memorize completely different topics. And finally, use your locations differently by putting more than one image on a location. In the first place, it might sound a bit confusing, but it's not. You can create a story out of a number of elements and then put this story on just one location. So this is how it works. Let's say you have 3 items you want to buy. Let's say you have a pizza, you have bread, and you have a flower. You have a pizza, and on the pizza there is a bread, and out of the bread there's a flower growing up. So you have created this little story. And in order to memorize the story, put this story in the first location of your memory palace. Let's say it's your front door. So at your front door, you stand there and you see there's a pizza, on top there's a bread, and the flower is growing. And with this strategy, you save a lot of locations, because when you want to memorize 12 items, you don't need 12 locations. You're good to go with only 4 locations, and then you are already done. And if you do that more often, you can save a lot of locations, and even 20 locations can store way more information. Give it a trial and try to figure out what number of words or objects are good for a location. Some people feel, okay, I just want to put 1 or 2. Some people say I want to put 5. So it's really up to you. So, short summary, you can use computer games, other virtual palaces for your memory palace. You can use environments in games, but also in real life, like your last vacation. Use your locations for multiple images. Create stories and put the story on a location. Memorize different information on the same location. They cannot interfere. They might be a complete different topic. And a very practical tip, write them down. Create a palace, maybe 50 locations, or start with 20 a day. Write them down, try to recall them in your mind and use them for random stuff. So these are my tips for your memory palaces. Try it out and write down in the comments how did you like them, what else you can think of to improve your memory palaces, and try to avoid buying the same stuff every single day because you used your memory palace just 5 times. It's not a good idea. Thank you very much for watching and keep on memorizing.
You are very arrogant.